Scrum is a framework that helps teams work together. Think of a rugby game, much like a rugby team training for the big game. Scrum encourages teams to learn through experiences, self organize while working on a problem, and reflect on their wins and losses to continuously improve. While the Scrum I'm talking about is most frequently used by software development teams, its principles and lessons can be applied to all kinds of teamwork. This is one of the reasons Scrum is so popular. Often thought as an agile project management framework, Scrum describes a set of meetings, tools, and roles that work in concert to help teams structure and manage their work. Scrum Scrum team Scrum Master is the facilitator for an agile development team. They are responsible for managing the exchange of formation team members. Scrum methodology that allows a team to self-organize and make changes quickly in accordance with agile principles. All through the Scrum analogy was first applied to manufacturing in a paper by Hirotaka Tiyaki and Ikoroja Nonaka. The approach is often used in agile software development and other types of project management. The term comes from the sport rugby, where opposing teams huddle together during a scrum to restart the game. In product development, scrum team members huddle together in each morning for a stand-up meeting where they review progress and essentially start the project during the daily meeting. A Scrum team is a collection of individuals, typically between 5 or 9 members, working together to deliver the required product increments. The Scrum framework encourages a high level of communication among team members so that the team can follow a common goal, adhere to the same norms and rules, so show respect to each other. And the second process work, a simple framework project management, was developed by Jeff Sutherland and then Kane Scober. They represented the process of object-oriented programming, systems and language and applications. Conference in Texas in 1995. Later, they published the methodology of Scrum software development process. This is how the framework works. Scrum Sprint is a repeatable fixed time box during which a done product of the highest possible value is created. Sprint lies at the core of the Sprint Agile methodology and can be thought of as an event which wraps all the Scrums together, like daily Scrums. Product backlog is a list of new features, changes to existing features, bug fixes, and infrastructure changes or other activities that a team may deliver in order to achieve a specific outcome. The product backlog is the single authoritative source for things that a team works on. And sprint backlog is basically the subset of product backlog that a team targets to deliver during a sprint in order to accomplish the sprint goal and make progress toward a desired outcome. The differences and basically the product increments occur when this brings us to the last Scrum artifact, which is the product increment. As defined by the Scrum guide, an increment is the sum of all product backlog items completed during a sprint and the value of increments of all previous sprints. As we know well by now, Scrum is an iterative process. The result of each iteration is the product increment, and each product increment helps team to step closer towards each other. Sprint review is the Scrum team should produce a potentially shippable product increment. Sprint review is the meeting at the end of the sprint where the Scrum team and all other stockholders get together and discuss what has been accomplished during the sprint and whether the sprint goal has been met or not. And the difference between sprint review and sprint retrospective, both are those that sprint review focuses on inspect and adapt of the increment potentially shippable, while the sprint retrospective give us focus on the inspect and adapt of the process of the sprint. This is how basically the difference work.